They're playing for the title.
Well, yes, but they're playing for so much, both of them. I mean, Venus, she knows the end is very near. She had such a great year last year, this year not so great. Great opportunity to get further, but she's got to play her sister who's going for the record, partner in court. I mean, they've got to be conflicted, both of them, you know, but you've got to become selfish at that point.
Well, they've played in bigger matches, though, in their history. I mean, they had to play here the year Serena was going for the calendar year Grand Slam, so many Grand Slam finals. And they had to also meet in the third round at Indian Wells. So I think these two are so used to it. It definitely brings a huge buzz to this tournament earlier than we expected. It's been a kind of a crazy week storyline-wise. Think, oh my gosh, what is going to happen tonight when Venus and Serena play each other? But honestly, how they handle it all now, they have their separate camps. In the beginning of their careers, they didn't. They were one team. So I think maybe in the last 10 years, it's maybe a little easier as they've gotten older and matured. They have their own coaches, they go over game plans, so a little bit more separate than from earlier when they used to play.
We have to show their head-to-heads because, again, they started playing against each other as toddlers. Here's what it was. Again, Venus claims that losing to Serena in last year's Australian Open final wasn't fair because it was 2 against 1, because Serena was already carrying baby Olympia around.
You know, the head-to-head's gone back and forth. Venus won 5 of the first 6, then Serena won 6 in a row. It's kind of taken its own path throughout. Serena, obviously the more accomplished player these last 10 or 12 years, but they practice together at times. It's so hard for everybody involved, and it's hard for them as well to really show their emotion. You don't really hear a big come on from Serena when they play, so it's always just a little bit hard, I think, emotionally more for them.
Yes. You were a little surprised at how much Venus has had a couple of tough rounds. She's beaten some good players. You were a little surprised at how hard she was practicing yesterday.
Yeah, you know, the talk is that Venus's knee is so bad, and I don't know. She was on the practice court for a while yesterday, really trying to perfect the return, trying to get down the pattern of the first 2 shots. I don't know how much she was moving. I saw the last bit of it, but she put in some quality minutes yesterday. And for a player, if you think they're injured, they normally curtail it. Venus didn't do that yesterday.
Well, being taped up for the practice. I think what I see, she's moving very well. And you know what? You can get through that pain, take some Advil or whatever before the match. She looks like she's moving well enough. So as long as you can handle the pain. And she's been so aggressive coming forward. That's what Venus has done so well here. Of course, 2 steps and she's at the net and she's knocking the volley away. Serena, on the other hand, has been much more passive, as she was earlier on at Wimbledon. So we'll see who tries to get a little more aggressive.
So they played only once this year, and that was at Indian Wells. And again, this is only Serena's 7th tournament back. Indian Wells, she barely played. And is that a big part of the reason why Venus got her?
Absolutely. I mean, Serena obviously not matched up yet, and also very, very slow court, which this one is playing. This is faster than Indian Wells, but not that much. So this will be very close condition-wise. But Serena much more matched up now, much more fit.
Yeah, Serena's come a long way in those 6 months, for sure. She wasn't quite ready to play at the absolute highest level in Indian Wells in Miami. We've heard her camp say that, and in her documentary as well. They talked about how she probably came back a little too early. Venus was able to take advantage in Indian Wells.
If Venus Williams wants to beat Serena tonight, what has to happen?
She has got to have a high percentage first serves in, because if she's vulnerable, it's on her second serve. That's where she's the most vulnerable, and Serena likes to smack those, we know that. And she has got to put some pressure on Serena to take time away, and the only way to do that is by coming to the net. She's got to redline it a little bit, and but the biggest thing is her second serve. She cannot hit too many of them, and attack Serena's second serve as much as possible.
I think opening up the court is huge, you know, in trying to get Serena to hit as many balls as possible from stretch position, reaching, off balance. Now, Venus doesn't get a ton of spin. She's added some spin on her forehand, so her balls normally go through the court more than they go off the court. We'll see if she tries to make any adjustments to get some of her shots to go out towards the alleys and not just through the baseline.
That's the hardest thing, is to get into the points against Serena, and then once you're in the point, get her to move. She moves less than her opponent. So that's, you know what you need to do? It's just hard to getting it done.
So we're probably going to watch this match? Is that what you're saying?
We will watch this match.